So just a quick little update tonight. I spent a while tinkering with it, but I didn't get a lot done. It was more of a planning stage kind of thing. But anyways, we were working on the steering. I got a mount in for it. I've made a box. I'll take the top off in a second here. But I made a little frame, and I found two bushings that actually fit this steering rod fairly well, and welded them into the frame. I'll pop it off and show you in a second here. But basically what we've ended up with is the steering wheel is as far forward as it'll possibly go into the body. There's actually just enough room for me to sit in here, and actually not too badly. It works. And then you can steer, to some degree with the windshield up, but the windshield flips down anyways. So we'll just, when we're right romping it, we'll just flip the windshield down. Then we got full reign of the wheel. But it should work. It should do the trick. Really, I just got to put a couple of stoppers on it so that it doesn't go up or down. Figure out exactly where I want it. It might come up a little bit or down a little bit. I don't know. But basically, once this wheel comes out, I'll show you what I did underneath here. So that's just the original column. It's a 5/8 shaft. It should work. I'm actually going to put another brace on it too, but we'll get to there. But so here it is with the body off. I'll slide the wheel back in. Now there's two bushings. What I actually ended up with was I had the two pieces of the leftover frame that I had cut off the back, and what I did was I welded them together to make a big U channel, or I guess an O or a D or whatever you want to call it, but completely welded, closed in. And then, like I said, I found this bushing, welded it in the top, cut and ground out a hole in that piece, and then there's another bushing underneath that's welded onto the bottom, a bigger one, but they're both just bushings out of wheels, I think, probably, but they'll do the trick. I actually have here it is. I have this plastic bushing, which is actually factory off this wheel, went up here to brace the top in the factory situation. What I'm gonna do is make a little bracket and actually pin right off the cover, or maybe come down here with it off the motor and make a bracket coming across here, so I got a little more support onto that wheel. It should be fine anyways. It's not very long, so it'd take quite a pull to bend it, but you never know. But I'll try to put that in there somewhere if I can, or like I say, just make my own bracket with a little bushing in it and put it onto the case, or put it down here onto the motor mount bolts. But the motor, I drilled a couple holes and it's actually mounted on now, so that's working out pretty good. And then I'll show you what I did underneath here, and I can just flip this thing up. It's pretty light, so I'll just flip it up, and it stood here perfectly fine the last time. Let me find its sweet spot again here. Oh, lost a wheel. Anyways, once it stood up here, I found a pulley that works perfect for the bottom of the lawnmower engine. What I did was I still got the lawnmower blade mount. That's why there's the two chuck key or pegs there. And this is a pulley off a lawnmower deck. It's actually off my big mower. I'd fried an axe or a spindle in one. But anyway, so I had this pulley sitting here. It's designed to get pinched on with a bolt regardless. It actually fit really good around the original peg in the middle. And then I just drilled the two holes to match that and bolted it on, and voila, it actually works pretty good. The alignment's not too bad. I'm off by about a 1/4 inch. This is too low, but I can either space the motor up, or I'm going to try to pull off the actual blade mount and just take off a little bit off the end of the shaft and put it back on. to get that 1/4 inch back. Now, originally this thing had, on the motor that came with it, has like a, I don't know, like a 2-inch, 2 1/4 inch pulley on it. The whole outside of the pulley is not even this big as the step in this one. So I'm basically almost doubling the pulley size, or not quite, you know, 1 3/4 probably bigger on the front and the same on the back. Now, once again, this is that hydrostatic rear end. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's a pretty nice little unit, given that it's all self-contained. There's no reservoirs, there's no hoses, lines, nothing. It ends up being this one piece here. It goes up for forward and down for reverse, or vice versa, I'm not sure, but that's all there is to it. It goes back and forth, and it either goes forward or reverse. It's got its own reservoir, everything in it. For anybody curious, there's the info on it. Hydro Gear, Sylvan, Illinois, USA. Looks like it's a 946775. I don't know. That's what it is anyways, but that's what we're using. Like I say, I'm not going to end up putting a clutch or anything on this thing. I'm going to get a belt that fits, put a tensioner on it, and done. It's just going to run all the time, because that hydrostatic rear end is always in neutral unless this thing's up or down. So and then as you want to go, the further you go, the faster you go. If you push backwards, you go backwards. So it'll be a super simple machine to drive is what I'm shooting for. Now the steering column, it slid down because, like I say, I still got to put the stops on it, but basically, in the end of the day, that thing is going to stick out about, like, yay, as far as distance goes from there. And then I got the original big shaft here for the steering that normally goes up over here anyways, and makes the angle. Sorry for the crap camera work. Let me see if I can turn this a bit here without dropping the other wheel off. Oh, no, it's just going to fall off, but that's fine. We'll get rid of the wheel here. Sorry. So anyways, back on the steering. Like I say, we're going to get the shaft sticking out about this far or so. Well, the stop on the bottom, stop on the top. And then this guy originally would have came off the steering gear to run it back and forth. And of course, the lawnmower was quite a bit longer, so it went all the way over there. I'm going to use and take advantage of the stock bend in it and reuse this end of it. But on this end, I'm going to cut it off. I'll heat it, flatten it with a hammer, drill a new hole through it, and make it so it's the correct length. And on this guy here, where I come out, I'm just going to weld on a dog bone with a pin on it. That's going to match up with this guy. Put that link in there. And presto bango, I should be good for the steering, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue, really. Like I say, it's just going to be what it already was, minus it had this big gear workings in it, which gives you your gear ratio to turn harder with the big wheels. I'm hoping at this moment that I really don't have to get into something with the gear on it to make this thing turn right. Hopefully it'll just be easy enough because it's so light, and I'll keep the front tires nice and full of air so that they don't got a lot of drag, and hopefully I'll be able to get over that. And with the big tires, I'm only going to need so much turn anyways, so hopefully I can put a short enough shaft on this, or dog bone. The shorter the distance from the shaft, the more torque it's going to have to push those wheels around. So it's going to be a tug of war between how much I can turn overall and how much I can actually turn it, because how much I can put effort into the wheel. So like I say, the front end's still completely stock. There's nothing been changed about it. It hasn't moved or done anything. It's in the exact same spot. I'll pull off these two brackets just for pleasure looking, whatever. And where these two pinch wells are, I'm actually going to take and just nibble a little bit out of this one, I think. and then that way my wheel comes in just far enough I can get to the pinholes on it. If I don't end up doing that, then I might just move out the wheel a bit, and I'll do what I did on the Sears race mower, which is weld a bolt onto the end of the shaft and use lock nuts on the end of it to hold the wheels in, and that way you can control how much pressure you put on it. So chances are I'll do something like that with it and it'll be fine, but we'll see what happens with it. But like I say, that's pretty much the update for today. I didn't get a whole lot done. I just got a lot of fiddle work and running around the place finding stuff. Like it took, half an hour to find the 2 bushings, and it took 20 minutes to figure out where all the steering parts went after I tore it apart, and it took another 20 minutes wandering around to find the pulley and stuff like that. But I got it all now. I'm still at $0 for the build. Hopefully we'll continue on with that. I haven't spent a penny yet. I don't plan on spending a penny. Now that my pulley's free for sure, then that's rocking. I don't have a belt of correct length in my hands yet, but I have belts hiding around all over, so I'm sure if I keep looking I will find one that is suitable length to do the job. So anyways, we'll keep you updated and we'll go from there.